Hello everyone, Kevin here with Hydra Progressive Software and another of our demo videos. In this video, we're going to look at how to create a new job in the system. So with Hydra, there are three ways to create a new job. We can create a job from scratch, we can create a copy of an existing job, or we can create a change order on an ongoing job. For the sake of this video, we're going to look strictly at creating a job from scratch, and we'll save the change order and copy for another video. So to create a job from scratch in our system, we're going to click on our Entry Forms menu, and we're going to go Job Entry. And that's going to open up our call sheet entry page here. And a quick overview for you. Up here we have our buttons that perform various tasks, so save, print, change or copy. And here we can add attachments or view the attachments we've added to the form. This top row are our required fields. These are the fields that must be entered before we can save the job. On the other hand, they're the only fields that need to be entered to save the job. We don't have to enter all the information on the screen if we don't have it, or maybe we don't have time right now. As long as we enter this top row, we can save it. It'll generate a job number and attach it to the job board for us. So down here, in the next box, we have our job information. This is information that's going to pertain to the majority of the jobs we create. Stuff like start date, end date, location, information that will apply to most jobs. So next we have our user-defined fields, and our user-defined fields are fields that allow you to customize your job sheets to meet your requirements. They allow you to set up additional information that you want to show on your job sheets and that you want your employees to have. Now in our sample here we have 4 user-defined fields showing because that's what we've set up. We could actually set up to 15 of these fields and they would appear on this form, which gives you plenty of room to track the data that you would like. Here we have our services. So these are the services we're going to perform on the job and the prices we're going to charge for them. Here's our personnel, so this is the people we're going to assign to the job. Here's our equipment that we're going to assign to the job. Down here we have our job directions, and finally our additional info, so any other information you feel your employees may need to know for that job. So let's go ahead and we'll start entering a job here. First thing we're going to do is select a status, and you'll see when we click on the drop down we have pending, confirmed, active, completed, canceled, and turned down. Because this is a new job, we're just going to click pending. Here you'll see we have a field locked out called reason. That field will only unlock for a job turned down, and that just allows us to track why we're turning our jobs down. So next we're going to select job type, and as I select this, I want you to focus on the services here. And I'm going to select Safety Services, and when I tab off, you'll notice we auto-populated our services. That's because we've set up what we call a service template in the system for that job type. That tells the system that these are the typical charges for that job type. This allows us to save time. We don't have to go out and add each service for that job each time we create a job of that job type. And it helps eliminate errors such as missing charges that we should be charging on a job, because as long as our templates are set up properly, we'll auto-populate. Now we can always remove one of these services if they don't apply, and we can always add additional services onto that if we need to. Next we'll select our customer. And in this case, we're just going to select our demo customer. And you'll notice as I click off that it auto-populates the phone number for them. And if you're wondering why the customer number is in blue and highlighted, that's because if I click that, it'll actually open the customer entry window and allow me to edit that customer. Next, we'll select our contact person. And in this case, we'll select contact person 1 just to keep it simple. And again, you'll notice as I tab off, it changes the phone number from the company's phone number to the contact person's phone number who's on site. And again, if we clicked on the contact person link here, it would open the contact person entry and allow us to edit that contact person. So perhaps the contact person called in, gave us a new phone number. We could actually go and edit that phone number and update the job sheet right from there. We didn't have to do extra steps. So we will pick Red Deer as our station just because. And then we're going to come down and we'll enter our start date. So our start date, we're going to say, is the 24th. And when I tab off this field again, I want you to watch the services window, please. Now you'll notice not only did it change what services we had here, but it also entered pricing and comments. That's because we have set up for this system what we call a pricing template for that customer and that job type. And that template has been approved. This does two things for us. One, it saves us time because we don't have to go find the pricing and enter it into the system as we create the job. And two, it eliminates errors because we know that it auto-populated from an approved template. And the only way that template can be approved is if the pricing is correct. Therefore, we know that this pricing should be 100% correct, and we don't have to go and double check it every time we create a job. So we'll just continue here really quick. We'll pick an end date. You don't have to pick an end date when you're creating a job. I'm just going to because I know it's only going to be a one-day job. I'm not going to bother entering all of this information. I will enter in a location or LSD just to demo. We can type whatever we want in here. So we could put an actual LSD in, or we could type in something as simple as Fort Sask plant site. Whatever you want to put in that describes the location for your employees. I'm also going to select a hotel because I want to show you something here. Anytime you see these little green lookup buttons, that means if we click on them, they're going to open up what we call our lookup windows with data that pertains to the field in question. So in this case, we can see a list of all of our hotels that we have accounts with. And we know this job is actually going to take place in Fort Saskatchewan. So we're going to type that in, and we can see right away that we have one hotel in Fort Saskatchewan. We have its phone number here, so we can book a hotel room right away. We don't have to run out, look up a hotel, look up a phone number, and all of that. We have that information at our fingertips right here. So now I'm not going to bother again entering user-defined fields and wasting time. Just suffice to say that they're there and we know that we can enter them. We're going to come down here and we're going to finish entering our services. So we know that we have one hotel room booked, and we'll say it was $150 a night. We don't know how many overtime hours the gentleman may work, so we'll just leave that at 0. We know we're going to have one safety tech. And in this case, just a demo, we're going to say they don't actually want an air trailer for this particular job. So we can remove that off of there and it won't be applied anymore. And we know we're going to charge 100 minimum miles. Now, because they didn't take the air trailer, we're going to say that instead of that, they wanted 2 SCBAs, and we know the price for those is $25. So that shows you that you can add a service and you can remove services. Even though we have a pricing template for that customer, we can adjust that based on what we actually need for the job. So over here now, we're going to add a personnel. Now, we'll click on the little lookup button like we always do. And this brings it up. And I'm going to show here, you can see right away, we have color coding going on. It's the same color coding we use on our job board. So green is active jobs that they're assigned to. Yellow is confirmed jobs that they're on. And everything else is available. I notice we don't have any red employees. If we had any of these lines highlighted in red, that would mean the employee is not available. Perhaps they're on holidays or they've asked us not to use them anytime soon. So we've marked them in red and we know not to use them. Down here we have a couple filtering fields just to make our life a little easier. We can search by type, so salaried, day rater, or casual, or contractor. Or we can search by proficiency, and this is probably the most useful of the two. So we could actually search by one of these types. So for example, we can look for a safety tech because we know that is actually what we're going to need in this one. In this case, we'll just choose one of these individuals and we'll bring them back. And you can see we bring back their email address and phone number onto this screen. Those won't print on your job sheet due to privacy reasons unless you request that we change that for you. However, they are right here on the screen. So if dispatch ever needs to get a hold of this individual, they can open the job, and that information is right there. They don't have to go looking for it. They don't have to go and open another file or find a phone list or anything like that. That information is available to them right on the job. Now for equipment, there's a couple things here. We're going to do a quick lookup. And on this lookup window, we can see the same color coding we've talked about so far. So we have green for active, yellow for confirmed, and here's a truck that's red, which means that truck is out of service. And again, we have our filtering fields down here, so type of equipment or unit number. We're not going to bother with that right now. You've already seen how those work. We're going to just choose which units we want, and we're going to bring them back on. So in this case, we're going to choose the high-powered air system, and we're going to choose that high-powered air system, and this field truck. So just by holding down the control key and selecting both lines, I can select both pieces of equipment, click on select, and it brings them back to our screen here. Now the other thing I'd like to show you about equipment is perhaps we are going to rent a piece of equipment. In this case, let's say personal monitors. We know it's a rental because we don't have any available. And we're going to say that the rental company is Monitors R Us. So that allows us to track which jobs have rental equipment on them and who's renting them for us. Now, down here in our job directions, we can actually start typing in our job directions. We can fit a massive amount of data into these, so there's no worry about long directions. The formatting will stay the same, so if I say from Red Deer travel north to Fort Sask, that is exactly what you see on here is how it will appear on the job sheet. So that allows you to format this to some extent so that the directions are easy for your employee to read. And over here on additional info, maybe we want to put the orientation link. And that way your employees know that they have their orientation. So now we've entered the fields that we need, and we'll just quickly hit save. And it's going to do its process, and this will take a couple seconds for it to save the job. And it's going to tell you what the job number is. So we know that this is Red Deer 00013 and that it has been saved. So we can click OK. And then we can actually close this. It gives you a warning that any unsaved changes will be lost, and would we like to proceed? We don't have any unsaved changes, so we'll just say OK. And when we come back here, you'll notice right now we don't see that job on the job board. But if we click the refresh button, there's our new job right there. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. And as always, if you would like more information, please visit our website at hydraps.com. Find us on Facebook or give us a call and we would be glad to help you.